Captain Marcus Chen stood at the observation deck of the trade vessel Harmony, watching the beautiful blue and silver planet of Zephyr Prime grow larger in the viewport. His hand shook slightly as he held the golden invitation card that had changed his life forever. The writing on it glowed with soft alien symbols that his translator device had turned into English words. You are invited to the royal wedding of Her Majesty Queen Zelenara and His Highness Prince Koth. The ceremony will take place on the floating palace of Zephyr Prime. Your presence would honor us greatly. Marcus read the invitation for the 100th time. He still could not believe it was real. He was just a simple human diplomat who worked on trade agreements between Earth and alien worlds. Why would the mighty Zephyrian Empire invite him to their most important royal wedding? His friend and captain of the ship, Sarah Williams, walked up beside him. Still nervous about the wedding, she asked with a smile. Very nervous, Marcus replied, putting the invitation back in his jacket pocket. I am the first human ever invited to a Zephyrian royal ceremony. What if I do something wrong? What if I embarrass all of humanity? Sarah laughed softly. Marcus, you have successfully negotiated peace agreements with 12 different alien species. You speak 7 alien languages. You are the best diplomat Earth has ever produced. You will be fine. Marcus nodded, but his stomach still felt full of butterflies. The Zephyrians were one of the most powerful species in the galaxy. They had wings like angels and could fly through space without ships. Their technology was thousands of years ahead of human technology. Their warriors were famous across the galaxy for their strength and honor. Remember, Sarah continued, this invitation came because of your work. The Zephyrians respect you. They invited you because you helped them make peace with the Crystalline Confederation last year. That was true. Marcus had spent 6 months working as a mediator between the Zephyrians and the Crystalline people. The two species had been fighting for decades over mining rights in the Spiral Nebula. Marcus had found a solution that made both sides happy. It was his greatest achievement as a diplomat. The ship's communication system made a soft beeping sound. Captain Chen, came the voice of the ship's AI. We are being contacted by Zephyrian Royal Control. They are requesting permission to escort us to the floating palace. Marcus felt his heart beat faster. Tell them we are honored to accept their escort. Through the viewport, 3 beautiful Zephyrian ships appeared. They looked like giant silver birds with glowing blue engines. The ships moved around the Harmony in a graceful dance, guiding them toward the planet. As they got closer to Zephyr Prime, Marcus could see the floating palace. It was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. The palace was made of white and gold crystal that floated high in the planet's atmosphere. It looked like a small city made of light and clouds. Incredible, Sarah whispered. No wonder they call it the floating palace. The Zephyrian escort. Ships guided them to a docking bay that was larger than most Earth buildings. As the Harmony landed, Marcus could see hundreds of other ships from different species. There were crystal ships from the Confederation, dark metal ships from the Shadow Clans, and even a few other human vessels. Look at all those ships, Marcus said. This wedding is going to be huge. A soft chime indicated that the docking process was complete. Marcus straightened his best diplomatic uniform and checked his appearance in the mirror. He had chosen a simple black suit with a small Earth flag pin on the collar. His dark hair was neatly combed, and his brown eyes looked determined. Despite his nervousness, you look perfect, Sarah said. Now go represent humanity with pride. Marcus walked to the airlock, took a deep breath, and stepped onto the docking platform. The air smelled like flowers and ocean breeze. The gravity felt slightly lighter than Earth normal, making each step feel like a small bounce. A group of Zephyrian guards was waiting for him. They were tall and elegant, with beautiful white and silver wings folded behind their backs. Their leader stepped forward and bowed respectfully. Captain Chen, the guard said in perfect English, welcome to Zephyr Prime. I am Commander Velter of the Royal Guard. Her Majesty Queen Zelenara has asked me to escort you personally to the palace. Marcus bowed back, remembering the proper Zephyrian greeting. The honor is mine, Commander. Thank you for the warm welcome. As they walked through the docking bay, Marcus saw aliens from dozens of different species. There were the rock-like granite people, the floating jellyfish-like ethereals, and the proud cat-like Felinians. All of them were dressed in their finest clothing for the royal wedding. Captain Chen, Commander Velter said as they walked, "I must inform you about our wedding traditions. Zephyrian ceremonies are not like human weddings. They involve competitions and challenges that test the guest's courage, wisdom, and honor." Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. Competitions? What kind of competitions? Nothing dangerous. The commander assured him. They are ceremonial tests that show respect for the royal family. Some involve displays of skill, others test knowledge of our culture. All guests participate, but it is considered a great honor. They entered an elevator that moved sideways as well as up and down. Through the crystal walls, Marcus could see the amazing interior of the floating palace. There were gardens floating in midair, waterfalls that flowed upward, and rooms filled with soft, glowing light. The competitions sound interesting, Marcus said, trying to hide his worry. Are there prizes for the winners? Commander Velter smiled. Oh yes, there are many prizes. The most skilled competitors receive honors from the royal family. Some even receive marriage bonds with eligible nobility, though that is rare. Marcus's eyes widened. Marriage bonds? You mean people can get married at these competitions? It is an ancient tradition, the commander explained. When a guest proves exceptional skill and honor, they may be offered a marriage bond with a member of the royal family. It strengthens alliances between our species. The elevator stopped at a magnificent hallway lined with crystal pillars. At the end of the hall, Marcus could see a pair of golden doors that reached up to the ceiling. Those are the doors to the Great Hall, Commander Velter said. The ceremony will begin in 1 hour. You should prepare yourself, Captain Chen. Tomorrow, you will participate in the wedding competitions alongside the greatest warriors and diplomats in the galaxy. As Marcus walked toward his guest quarters, he wondered what he had gotten himself into. He had come to attend a simple wedding, but it seemed like he was about to face challenges that could change his life forever. Marcus woke up early the next morning in his guest quarters. The room was beautiful, with crystal walls that showed the sunrise over Zephyr Prime. He had barely slept, thinking about the wedding competitions that awaited him. His stomach felt nervous, but he was determined to represent humanity with honor. After putting on his diplomatic uniform, Marcus walked to the Great Hall. The massive room was filled with hundreds of alien guests. The ceiling was so high that clouds floated inside it. Golden light streamed down from crystal chandeliers that hung in the air without any support. At the front of the hall stood Queen Zelenara and Prince Koth. The queen was the most beautiful Zephyrian Marcus had ever seen. Her wings were pure white with silver edges, and her dress seemed to be made of starlight. Prince Koth was tall and strong, with crystal armor that reflected rainbow colors. "Welcome, honored guests," Queen Zelenara announced, her voice carrying clearly through the hall. "Today we celebrate not just our union, but the bonds between all our species. Let the ceremonial challenges begin." The crowd cheered as the first competition was announced. Marcus watched as alien warriors demonstrated their fighting skills. With energy weapons, the granite people showed their strength by lifting massive stone blocks. The ethereals displayed their ability to float and dance in the air like living music. "Captain Chen," a voice said behind him. Marcus turned to see a young Zephyrian woman in military armor. She was shorter than most Zephyrians, with golden wings and bright green eyes. "I am Princess Laravel, captain of the Royal Guard and daughter of King Tefren." Marcus bowed respectfully. "Your Highness, it is an honor to meet you, Princess." Laravel smiled, but Marcus could see worry in her eyes. "I need your help, Captain. There's a problem with one of the ceremonial artifacts. The sphere of harmony has fallen into a malfunctioning gravity well in the lower levels of the palace. Without it, the wedding ceremony cannot be completed. What can I do to help?" Marcus asked without hesitation. "The gravity well is too dangerous for most species," the princess explained, "but humans are small and agile. You might be able to retrieve the sphere where others cannot. However, I must warn you, if you enter the chamber of trials to reach the gravity well, you will automatically be entered in the marriage competition. Marcus felt his heart skip a beat. Marriage competition. It is an ancient law. Princess Liravel said sadly. Anyone who enters the Chamber of Trials is considered a suitor for eligible royal family members. I have already rejected 43 suitors this year, but the law requires me to accept challenges from anyone brave enough to enter the chamber. Marcus looked around the hall. He could see alien nobles pointing at him and whispering. Some were laughing at the small human who dared to speak with the princess. Others looked angry that an outsider was even present at the ceremony. Your Highness, Marcus said carefully, I want to help you save the wedding ceremony, but I do not want to cause any political problems. Princess Liravel's expression grew determined. Captain Chen, you are the only one who can help. The ceremony must begin in 2 hours, or Queen Zelenara's wedding will be ruined. Will you help us? Marcus thought about his duty as a diplomat. He was here to represent humanity and build good relationships with alien species. If he helped save the royal wedding, it would be a great honor for Earth. But if he accidentally got engaged to an alien princess, it could cause serious diplomatic complications. I will help, Marcus decided. Lead me to the Chamber of Trials. Princess Liravel looked relieved. Thank you, Captain. Follow me. They walked through several corridors, filled with floating gardens and crystal fountains. Other wedding guests watched them curiously as they passed. Marcus heard whispers in different alien languages, but his translator device told him most of them were wondering why a human was walking with the princess. The Chamber of Trials was a massive circular room with walls covered in ancient Zephyrian symbols. In the center of the room was a hole that led down into darkness. Strange energy waves pulsed from the hole, making the air shimmer like water. The gravity well is down there, Princess Liravel explained. The sphere of harmony fell into it during the decorating process yesterday. The gravity field is unstable. It pulls in different directions every few seconds. Most species are too large to navigate through it safely. Marcus looked down into the hole. He could see flashing lights and swirling energy patterns. The sphere was probably somewhere in that chaos, being tossed around by the unstable gravity. Are there any safety ropes or equipment I can use? Marcus asked. Yes. We have magnetic climbing gear that should help you move through the gravity field, the princess replied. She handed him a belt with metal clips and a small device that looked like a compass. This will help you find the sphere. As Marcus put on the safety equipment, he noticed that other alien guests had followed them to the chamber. Word had spread quickly through the palace that a human was about to attempt the trial. Some aliens looked curious, others appeared skeptical. That a small human could succeed where their own warriors had failed. Look at the tiny human. One of the granite people said loudly. He will be crushed by the gravity field. Humans are weak, agreed a Felinian noble. This is just a waste of time. Marcus felt his face turn red with embarrassment, but Princess Liravel stepped forward. Captain Chen has negotiated peace between species that have fought for centuries. She announced to the crowd, he has earned the right to attempt this trial. We shall see, said a tall crystalline warrior. But when he fails, I will retrieve the sphere myself and claim the marriage bond with the princess. Marcus realized that he was not just trying to save the wedding ceremony. He was also competing against alien warriors who wanted to marry Princess Liravel. If he failed, one of them might succeed and force the princess into an unwanted marriage. I am ready, Marcus said, checking his equipment one final time. Princess Liravel placed her hand on his shoulder. Be careful, Captain Chen. The gravity field is unpredictable. If you feel yourself losing control, activate the emergency return device on your belt. Marcus nodded and stepped to the edge of the hole. The energy waves made his skin tingle, and he could feel the strange gravity pulling at him from different directions. He took a deep breath and jumped into the swirling darkness, beginning his descent into the most dangerous challenge of his life. Marcus fell through the swirling darkness, his body spinning in different directions as the unstable gravity field pulled him back and forth. One moment he was falling down. The next he was being pushed sideways against the crystal walls. The magnetic climbing gear helped him grab onto ledges, but the constantly changing gravity made it hard to control his movements. Above him, he could hear the voices of the alien guests watching from the chamber entrance. Most of them sounded doubtful that a human could succeed where their own warriors had failed. "The human will never make it," one voice said. "He is too small and weak," said another. Marcus tried to ignore the comments and focus on his mission. The device Princess Laravel had given him was beeping faster. As he got closer to the sphere of harmony, the flashing lights in the gravity well were getting brighter, and he could feel the energy waves getting stronger. Suddenly, the gravity field changed again. Instead of pulling him down, it started pushing him upward with tremendous force. Marcus quickly activated his magnetic clips and grabbed onto a crystal outcropping on the wall. His body was pressed against the stone as the gravity tried to shoot him back up to the surface. "The gravity field is becoming more unstable," Princess Laravel called down to him. "Be careful." "Captain Chen." Marcus waited for the upward pressure to decrease, then continued his descent. He was using his human flexibility to bend and twist through spaces that would be impossible for larger alien species. His smaller size, which the other guests had mocked, was actually helping him navigate the dangerous gravity field. As he went deeper, Marcus began to understand the pattern of the gravity changes. Unlike the alien warriors who relied on strength and instinct, he approached the problem like a puzzle. He noticed that the gravity field changed every 12 seconds, and the direction of the pull followed a mathematical sequence. "It's not random," Marcus said to himself. "There's a pattern here." He started timing his movements with the gravity changes, using the field to help him move instead of fighting against it. When the gravity pulled left, he moved left. When it pulled down, he used the force to descend faster. His human ability to analyze patterns and adapt quickly was giving him an advantage. Above him, the alien guests were becoming quieter. They could see that Marcus was actually making progress, where their strongest warriors had failed. "How is the human doing that?" asked the crystalline noble. "He moves like he understands the gravity field," Princess Laravel observed with surprise. Marcus continued his descent, getting closer to the source of the beeping. The sphere of harmony was somewhere in the deepest part of the gravity well, probably stuck in a pocket of stable space. He just had to reach it without getting crushed by the changing gravitational forces. After what felt like hours but was probably only 20 minutes, Marcus saw a golden glow in the darkness below. The sphere of harmony was floating in a small chamber, surrounded by swirling energy patterns. It was beautiful, a perfect golden orb that seemed to contain miniature stars. The problem was that the sphere was in the center of the most unstable part of the gravity field. The gravitational forces were changing every few seconds, and they were much stronger than anything Marcus had experienced so far. "I can see the sphere," Marcus called up to the surface, "but it's in the most dangerous part of the field." "Can you reach it?" Princess Laravel asked. Marcus studied the gravity patterns around the sphere. The mathematical sequence was more complex here, but he could still see the pattern. However, he would need perfect timing to grab the sphere and get out safely. "I'm going to try," Marcus replied. He waited for the right moment in the gravity cycle, then launched himself toward the sphere. The gravitational forces grabbed him and spun him around, but he had timed it correctly. He reached out and grabbed the sphere of harmony just as the gravity field tried to pull him in 3 different directions at once. The sphere was warm in his hands and seemed to pulse with peaceful energy. Marcus understood why it was needed for the wedding ceremony. It represented the harmony between different species working together. But now he had to get back to the surface. The gravity field was trying to keep him trapped in the center of the well, pulling him in circles. Marcus realized he needed to think differently about the problem. Instead of fighting the gravity field, he decided to use it like a tool. He began to move in rhythm with the gravitational changes, using each force to push him closer to the wall, where he could grab onto the climbing anchors. It was like a complex dance, requiring perfect timing and spatial awareness. The alien guests above watched in amazement as Marcus slowly worked his way back up through the gravity well. They had never seen anyone move through unstable gravity fields with such skill and intelligence. "Incredible," whispered a granite warrior. The human is using the gravity field to help him climb. He thinks like a machine, said an ethereal observer, but moves like a dancer. Princess Laravel watched with growing respect as Marcus made steady progress upward. She had seen dozens of strong warriors fail in the gravity well, but this human was succeeding through intelligence and adaptability rather than brute force. 20 minutes later, Marcus pulled himself out of the gravity well and collapsed on the floor of the Chamber of Trials. He was exhausted but triumphant, holding the sphere of harmony safely in his hands. The alien guests burst into applause. Even those who had doubted him were now impressed by his achievement. "You did it," Princess Laravel said, kneeling beside him. "You saved the wedding ceremony." Marcus sat up and handed her the sphere. "I'm just glad I could help." But as he looked around the chamber, Marcus realized that his success had created a new problem. According to Zephyrian law, he had completed the trial and was now officially a suitor for Princess Laravel's hand in marriage. The other alien nobles who had wanted to marry the princess were looking at him with a mixture of respect and anger. "The human has won the right to compete for the princess's hand," announced Commander Velter, who had arrived to witness the trial. "The marriage competition will continue tomorrow." Marcus felt his heart sink. He had saved the wedding ceremony, but now he was trapped in an alien marriage competition he never wanted to enter. Worse, he could see that some of the other suitors were not happy about losing to a human. As the crowd dispersed to prepare for Queen Zelenara's wedding ceremony, Marcus wondered what other challenges awaited him. He had proven that humans could succeed through intelligence and adaptability, but the real test was just beginning. The next morning, Marcus woke up to find a formal invitation waiting outside his door. The golden card announced the final marriage competition, which would take place during Queen Zelenara's wedding ceremony. His stomach felt nervous as he read the details. All remaining suitors must complete the trial of unity, the invitation explained. You will pilot ancient Zephyrian warcraft through the crystal asteroid field. While the royal wedding takes place, the winner will earn the right to ask for Princess Laravel's hand in marriage. Marcus had never piloted a Zephyrian spacecraft before. The alien vessels were designed for beings with wings, who could naturally fly through three-dimensional space. How could a human possibly compete against experienced alien pilots? He walked to the preparation chamber where the other suitors were already studying their spacecraft. There were 12 competitors left, including Marcus, the crystalline warrior. Kefmer was practicing with his ship's controls. A proud granite warrior named Vulcan was testing his vessel's strength systems. Even a graceful ethereal named Zephyr had entered the competition. "Look, the little human thinks he can pilot a real spacecraft," Kefmer said loudly. "These ships require true warriors, not weaklings who solve puzzles." The other suitors laughed, but Marcus ignored them. He approached his assigned spacecraft, a sleek silver vessel with blue energy wings. The ship was beautiful, but completely alien to him. The controls were designed for beings with 4 arms and natural flight instincts. "Having trouble already?" asked a familiar voice. Marcus turned to see Princess Laravel approaching him. She was wearing her military uniform and looked worried. "The controls are very different from human spacecraft," Marcus admitted, "but I'll figure it out." Princess Laravel looked around to make sure no one was listening, then stepped closer. "Captain Chen, I need to tell you something important. I've been investigating some strange activities in the palace. I think someone is planning to sabotage the wedding ceremony." Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. "What kind of sabotage?" "I'm not sure yet," the princess replied, "but I've noticed unauthorized ships entering the asteroid field. Some of the palace guards have been acting strangely, and there have been secret meetings between certain nobles from different species. Do you think it's connected to the marriage competition?" Marcus asked. "Possibly," Princess Laravel said. "Someone might be using the competition as a distraction while they carry out their real plan." "Captain Chen, you're the only competitor I trust. If you see anything suspicious during the trial, please let me know immediately." Marcus nodded seriously. "I will. But Princess, why do you trust me more than the others?" Princess Laravel smiled. "Because you're the only suitor who asks for my opinion instead of trying to impress me." with displays of strength. You treated me like a person, not a prize to be won. The preparation time ended, and all the suitors were called to their spacecraft. Marcus climbed into his ship and tried to understand the alien. Controls. The pilot's seat was designed for someone with wings, so he had to adjust everything to fit his human body. Attention competitors, came the voice of the flight coordinator. The trial will begin in 5 minutes. You must navigate through the crystal asteroid field while maintaining formation around the royal wedding platform, the first pilot to complete 3 circuits around the field will be declared the winner. Marcus started his engines and felt the ship respond. The controls were difficult but not impossible. He realized that his human hands were actually better at operating the complex manual controls than species with claws or tentacles. The asteroid field was spectacular. Thousands of crystal asteroids floated in space, each one glowing with internal light. In the center of the field, a massive platform held Queen Zelenara's wedding ceremony. Hundreds of guests and spacecraft watched from a safe distance. Begin the trial, announced the coordinator. The 12 suitors launched their ships into the asteroid field. Immediately, Marcus saw the advantage of his human perspective, while the other pilots relied on instinct and traditional flying patterns. Marcus approached the challenge like a three-dimensional puzzle. He studied the asteroid movements and found mathematical patterns in their rotation. Instead of flying around the asteroids, he calculated trajectories that would let him fly between them. His human brain's ability to process spatial relationships gave him an unexpected advantage. As Marcus navigated through the field, he noticed something strange. Some of the asteroids had small devices attached to them, devices that didn't belong. In a natural asteroid field, Princess Laravel, Marcus said into his communication device, "I'm seeing suspicious objects attached to some asteroids. They look like bombs or explosive devices." "What?" The princess's voice came back immediately. "Where exactly?" Marcus quickly sent her the coordinates of the suspicious asteroids. As he continued flying, he saw more and more of the devices. Someone had planted explosives throughout the asteroid field, probably planning to detonate them during the wedding ceremony. "Captain Chen, you're right," Princess Laravel confirmed. "Those are high-powered explosive devices. If they detonate, they could destroy the entire wedding platform and kill everyone at the ceremony." "Can you disable them from the platform?" Marcus asked. "No, they have to be disarmed manually. But if we stop the competition to investigate, whoever planted them will know we've discovered their plan." Marcus thought quickly. "I have an idea. I can disable the devices during the race. My ship is small and maneuverable enough to reach them without the other competitors noticing." "That's extremely dangerous," Princess Laravel warned. "The devices might explode if you touch them. It's more dangerous to let them stay active." Marcus replied, "I'm going to try." While the other suitors focused on winning the race, Marcus began a secret mission to save the wedding ceremony. He flew his ship close to each booby-trapped asteroid and used his ship's maintenance tools to carefully remove the explosive devices. His human dexterity and problem-solving skills helped him figure out how to disarm each device safely. The work was slow and dangerous, but Marcus knew that hundreds of lives depended on his success. As he worked, Marcus noticed that one of the other competitors was flying in a strange pattern. Kethmer, the crystalline warrior, was staying close to certain asteroids and seemed to be monitoring something on his control panel. "Princess," Marcus called urgently, "I think Kethmer is involved in the sabotage. He's acting as a lookout. I'm sending security forces to investigate." Princess Laravel replied. "How many devices have you disabled?" 15 so far. "But there are more," Marcus said, "and I think I know who's behind this conspiracy." The race was reaching its climax, but Marcus had uncovered a plot that threatened the entire galaxy's peace. Marcus finished disarming the 23rd explosive device. Just as Kethmer realized his plan had been discovered, the crystalline warrior suddenly broke formation and flew his ship directly toward the royal wedding platform, activating a massive bomb hidden in his vessel's cargo hold. "All ships, emergency protocol." Princess Laravel's voice echoed through the communication system. "Kethmer has a bomb. He's going to crash into the wedding platform. The wedding guests screamed in panic as Kethmer's ship approached the platform where Queen Zelenara and Prince Koth were still completing their ceremony. The other competitors tried to intercept him, but their ships were too far away. Marcus was the only pilot close enough to stop the attack. His smaller, more maneuverable ship gave him one advantage: speed through the asteroid field. He pushed his engines to maximum power and raced toward Kethmer's larger vessel. "Kethmer, stop!" Marcus called over the communication channel. "Why are you doing this? The alliance between our species will destroy the old ways?" Kethmer replied angrily. "The Crystalline Confederation should rule the galaxy alone, not share power with weaklings like Zephyrians and humans." Marcus realized that Kethmer was part of a radical group that opposed the peace between different species. They wanted to destroy the royal wedding to start a new war that would break up all the alliances. "You're wrong," Marcus said as he flew alongside Kethmer's ship. "Working together makes us all stronger, not weaker. A human cannot understand warrior honor." Kethmer shouted, "You are too small and weak to matter." Marcus made a desperate decision. Instead of trying to destroy Kethmer's ship, he used his vessel's magnetic grappling system to attach himself to the bomber's hull. His ship was pulled along as Kethmer continued toward the wedding platform. "What are you doing?" Kethmer demanded. "I'm going to show you what humans can do," Marcus replied. Using his ship's maintenance tools, Marcus began cutting through Kethmer's hull to reach the bomb. His human hands were perfect for the delicate work of rewiring alien explosive devices. While Kethmer tried to shake him off, Marcus managed to access the bomb's control system. The bomb was more complex than the devices he had disarmed earlier. It had multiple triggers and backup systems. But Marcus's human brain was excellent at understanding patterns and solving puzzles under pressure. "You cannot stop it," Kethmer said. "The bomb will explode in 60 seconds. Marcus worked frantically, using everything he had learned about alien technology during his diplomatic career. He cross-connected wires, bypassed circuits, and finally found the main power source. With 30 seconds left, Marcus made the final cut. The bomb's countdown stopped, and the explosive device powered down safely. "Impossible," Kethmer cried. "No one could disarm that bomb so quickly. That's the difference between us." Marcus said, breathing heavily, "You think strength is about fighting and destroying. I think strength is about solving problems and protecting others." Kethmer's ship was quickly surrounded by Zephyrian security forces. The crystalline warrior was arrested, and his ship was safely guided away from the wedding platform. On the platform, Queen Zelenara and Prince Koth completed their wedding ceremony with grateful relief. The crowd cheered as they were declared married, and the threat to galactic peace was ended. "Attention competitors," came the voice of the flight coordinator. "Due to the emergency situation, the marriage competition is officially concluded. Captain Marcus Chen has demonstrated exceptional courage, wisdom, and honor. He is declared the winner of the trial." Marcus felt his heart race as he realized what this meant. According to Zephyrian law, he had won the right to marry Princess Liravel. But he also knew that marriage should be about love and choice, not competition and law. He flew his ship back to the palace and met Princess Liravel in the docking bay. She was waiting for him with a serious expression on her face. "Captain Chen," she said formally, "you have won the right to ask for my hand in marriage. What is your decision?" Marcus looked into her green eyes and saw intelligence, strength, and kindness. Over the past few days, he had come to respect and admire her greatly, but he also knew that both of them deserved to choose their own futures. "Princess Liravel," Marcus said carefully, "I have great respect and affection for you, but I believe marriage should be based on love and mutual choice, not ancient laws and competitions." The princess smiled with relief. "I feel the same way, Captain, but I also know that our peoples need to strengthen their alliance. Perhaps we can find a different way." Marcus thought for a moment, then smiled. "What if we became partners instead of spouses? We could work together as diplomats, building bridges between our species. We could show the galaxy that humans and Zephyrians can accomplish amazing things when we combine our different strengths. A diplomatic partnership, Princess Liravel said thoughtfully. That's actually more valuable than a political marriage. We could establish new protocols for cooperation between our species. King Tefren and Queen Zelenara approached them, having overheard the conversation. This is a wise solution, the king said. Captain Chen has proven that humans possess qualities we never fully appreciated: creativity, adaptability, and the ability to solve complex problems through intelligence rather than force. We propose a new kind of alliance, Queen Zelenara added, not based on marriage bonds or military strength, but on mutual respect and shared wisdom. The announcement of the humans-Ephrian diplomatic partnership was celebrated throughout the galaxy. Marcus and Princess Liravel became the first interspecies diplomatic team, working together to prevent conflicts and build understanding between different alien cultures. Marcus's success at the royal wedding became a legend that spread to every human colony. He had proven that humanity's greatest strength was not in matching other species' physical abilities, but in bringing unique perspectives that helped solve problems others couldn't even see. 6 months later, Marcus and Princess Liravel had successfully negotiated peace agreements between 12 different species. Their partnership showed the galaxy that the best solutions came from combining different ways of thinking. Marcus often thought about how a simple wedding invitation had changed his life forever. He had come to Zephyr Prime as a guest and left as a bridge between worlds. It proved that sometimes the most important achievements came not from winning competitions, but from choosing to help others and work together toward a better future. The legend of the human who attended an alien wedding and ended up saving the galaxy became a favorite story told to children of many species. It reminded everyone that true strength came from unity, understanding, and the courage to do what was right.